Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for BranSi0730 ZHANG as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. It's the Attack on Titan Season 2 OST, YouSeeBIGGIRL/T:'T. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. I don't know what's going on, but I can't breathe at the moment. And it's quite frustrating. I'm hoping that I haven't caught anything, as it's the Christmas Eve, and it's not a fun time to catch stuff, but we will see. Let's go. Oh, it's really intense immediately with these strings. Getting in with the war drums there on top of the choir. Oh, it's ferocious, isn't it? I love the progression, how things are sort of sinking down a little bit, you know? Great dynamic range to the recording. Fantastic use of synths as well, some more sort of like contemporary elements. It's glorious, isn't it? These, the strings, how they come in with the lead in and the harmonies on top of harmonizing in fourths, if I'm not mistaken. And things just kind of cancel out a little bit. He's just building up, man, the crescendo, going to the mezzo forte. And we've got some very light distorted guitars there, very subtle mix, you know, you can tell they're not trying to make the whole thing loud, you know, they're trying to allow the theme to sort of resonate and reticulate. It actually makes me want to watch Attack on Titan, if I'm totally honest. Although it's so intense, dude. So intense. So many people die. I mean, this is only season 2. There's like, has the anime actually ended at this point? I don't know, man. Like, I get the impression that the anime might have ended. I'm trying to figure out how many different instruments you have in this. I'm counting at least 10 at the moment. Probably a couple of drummers, full string section like 4 or so. Someone playing the synthesizer. There's brass as well. The choir. Maybe 12. Maybe 14. This is a new section, in case you weren't aware, because a lot of classical pieces have several different movements. I do like the way that her vocal tone resonates with the rest of the mix and how it goes up with the choir. It's as if we're about to have a great tragedy strike or we're about to have shit hit the fan, you know what I mean? I like how we had the little kind of alarm sounds with the tremolos on the guitars. I think that was an interesting way of producing that tone. I like how we're not committing to any major or minor triads. Kind of you can easily get lost in it, can't you? Kind of reminds me of when I reviewed the OST or the music for the Doom soundtrack, BFG Division. You know, a longer form factor track, but you just find yourself getting absorbed in it. Oh, that falsetto is absolutely luxurious. Yeah, that little dance style waltz, that little sort of chromatic note that we had in that third part, that was gorgeous. Really well written. Ooh, the drum kit coming in here? Smart move, dude. We obviously had the sort of orchestral drums and up until this point. But it works really well with how the vocals are building as well in intensity. Kind of makes things sound proportionately louder and more sort of dramatic. Oh, it's actually an absolute banger at this point, man. I just need everything to sort of come together to really sort of feel it out. I actually wonder whether she's gonna go up an octave or something. That would be kind of low. That'd be low-key, pretty incredible. Well, because we've got like 3 minutes to. No, we haven't. It's over. What? Dude, that flew by way too quickly. That was criminal. That was wild that flew by that quickly. I thought we were just getting into it, man. That's one of the few times that this year, across the entirety of my reviews, the entirety of them, because I've done at least 500 of them, if not more this year. That's one of the few times where I have thought a long form track was a lot shorter than it actually was. That's beautiful, man. Wonderful. Good job, Brandon. We got lyrics here as well. I don't know if you can see them very well. I can't really make them much louder. We also got an advert here. I'm using Opera GX, so like I don't have an ad blocker on it per se, but it's whatever, you know, it's fine. I'm sure at least someone's getting, at least, you know, it might be a good ad, I don't know. I didn't care about it, so I quit out of it, so it's too late, but you know, it's fine. YouSeeBIGGIRLTT. Everyone dies one day, whether we're ready to die or not, that day will certainly come. Oh, it's in German, of course it is. They love their German stuff in Attack on Titan. Is it an angel who falls from a cloudy sky? Is it a demon who climbed out of the rocks? Yeah, all these different feelings and themes and stuff. We will fight against our fate. We will not give ourselves to our destiny. With sadness and decisions in our hearts, we will show our will to go further. No one can be arbitrarily deprived of his life. With sadness and decisions in our hearts, we will show our will to go further. Okay, I see. So this is the conclusion of my review of the Attack on Titan S2 OST YouSeeBIGGIRL/T.T. What do I think this track is about? I think this track is about accepting your mortality and doing your best to make the most of the time while you have it. I think that I've listened to a few tracks like this recently where they've discussed subjects like this, and especially in the world of Attack on Titan, where you can literally just die, man. Like, you know, you make one wrong move and you're screwed. You get eaten or you get stabbed or whatever, man. It's a very, very dangerous place. And I think that the music the story makes a lot of sense with that. I think that the vocals when they came in from the singer were absolutely magnificent. Sensational singer. Really emotive and caring and effective in her range, and working within the soprano occasionally, making me want more until I just couldn't have any more because it was done. I love the fact she built up to that. I wasn't disappointed though. I was just wanting more because I'm greedy. So, you know, that's absolutely fine. I mean, I think the fact that you're wanting it to continue and it stops is kind of what you need from a song. You kind of need that to occur, because if you don't have a song that makes you want to hear more of it, you've effectively failed, really, unless you're wanting it to be a one-off listen and there's no way you could have the same experience the second time. I think there's enough within this track from like a thematic or like a musical accompaniment or performative perspective to allow for multiple listens. I think that we have ourselves, obviously we have an orchestra with the choir behind the singer, and we have like the guitarists, bassists, and drummers and all that kind of stuff. And the song itself sounded one of loss, but acceptance, frustration, fury, rage, but acceptance. It's just knowing that, you know, we will dance the dance of death until the day we die, and you're just doing what you can to get by and continue. And I think that it's a phenomenally written piece. I think that whoever wrote it, whoever created it, should be incredibly proud of themselves. They wonderfully illustrated is sort of the emotionally castrated world of Attack on Titan, where we have people who just cannot even really be humans. They have to just continue to sort of mask and like be strong, or else they'll get left behind. There's just no room for that. It has to be done properly. You have to be a good soldier, and it's just wild, man. It's furious, but it's what it is. I think that the use of the strings, the brass, the guitar, the drums, the again with the vocals and the choir, allowed for a more sort of spiritual, holistic experience here. For better or worse, I think that the people involved in this track absolutely smashed every single note they played there. It was phenomenally sort of adaptive and responsive to the needs of the story, as well as the instruments and their own textures and timbres. There were no sort of places where there was filler or anything like that. You had moments where things kind of got a little bit quiet, sort of transitioned to a new section or a new part. And I like the fact that at the 2-minute mark, things kind of came down a little bit just to allow for a new part there that eventually led to the climax there. That didn't sound as much of a climax as I expected, because I simply thought it would just keep going up and up and up. And I think that's wonderful. I think that the production, recording, mixing, mastering is absolutely splendid. I like the fact that it was written so intelligently and intricately. I would love to see the score for this, to see what the individual musicians were playing. I like the fact we didn't stick within our traditional sort of scale shapes and modes and keys, but at the same time, I think that it's also a magnificent recording of classical instruments that worked well with the more sort of modern sort of synth, guitar, drum-based elements there that kind of helped sort of connect the vocals as well into it. I think that everything was not spectacularly in the frequency spectrum, and it was nice and wide in the stereo field. There was lots of width to it and depth there dynamically, and again there were changes of perceived loudness there, which is what I need from a classical recording or a classical arrangement that's recorded for something like this, the score. I need it to be as human as possible, and we had that here. There were little synth parts, but we otherwise kept away from the more synthetic elements, aside from obviously the distortion and stuff like that. And I think that ultimately this is a wonderful example of how you do scoring for animes. I think there's so much tension and drama within this. But even though the story is so bleak and depressing, you kind of just, it's kind of cool to listen to, you know, even with knowing the lyrics. Like, even if it's sad, it's like you feel pumped, you feel like you need to make most of the last days of your life. And that's a weird feeling that a song is giving me right now personally, but if it's making me feel something, the music succeeded. As long as that thing is kind of what the song might have intended, or as long as it's not terrible. You know, it was nice and loud without pumping. Again, plenty of dynamic range there, no issues with that. It was professional, major label, commercial grade. This is my review, my SP Patrons video of Attack on Titan Season 2 OST YouSeeBIGGIRL/T.T. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out their various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on. And this is my last SP Patrons video for the year as far as I'm aware. So for every one of you SP patrons who are watching this, or for anyone else watching this, hopefully you have a fantastic Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, and I will catch you in the next review. See you in 2023. Best of luck, everyone. Spiderhands Out.